Hi, welcome. I'm so happy to be here today to talk about being a whole body being. Yeah, so often in our society, we're pulled out into parts and pieces, right? So our body goes to the doctor, our mind goes to the therapist, and our spirit goes to the temple or the church or wherever you go. I go in nature. And the truth is that we are all one. This system is a completely interwoven and connected system. So if I'm loving on my hands, I'm loving on my feet. If I'm stilling my mind, I'm stilling my body. If I'm opening my heart, I'm opening my hips. If I'm speaking my truth, I'm satisfying my heart and my soul. If I'm blocked and I'm tight and I'm hanging on in my left shoulder, I'm affecting my right hip. So we can't pull ourselves apart and consider ourselves parts and pieces. We are whole, we are one system. And the beautiful thing about that, and the beautiful thing about working with the whole system all at the same time with the ageless movement practices I give you based on my yoga therapy training, when we work on this whole system, we keep ourselves whole. We are working, we know that when we're working on our right hip, that we're working to let go of fear of the outer world and controlling of the outer world, which affects everything further up, but it definitely affects how we speak to others, how we appear out there in the outer world, whether it's writing a blog post now or calling somebody up or appearing on Zoom or Facebook Live. Let's see. Oh, Susan, hey, just did the Love Fest. Awesome. How are you feeling? So happy you're here with me. So this week I have on the Ageless Movement Practices a whole body love fest. In fact, I'm pretty much just doing my favorites there, the way that I love to work on my whole body and keep it all connected as one. So check it out if you haven't. But I want to get back to talking about how we are a whole system. And when something, hey Jennifer Faye, enters into the system that disturbs, then we allow whatever that is that's entering into our system not to just disturb, like our ears, right? It's like, oh, I didn't want to hear that. It affects the whole system. And, now we know this and we can feel this maybe more than at any other time. For me, more than at any other time, because I think it's like I'm quieter right now. Like I don't have a lot of outer world input. I'm not being invited to a lot of parties, having a whole lot of outer world things going on, and I can feel how things are affecting me. So when I hear something that goes in and kind of rattles my system, I can feel how parts of myself are disturbed or running away, splitting off from my body. Or as I write in this week's blog, which comes out tomorrow, it's like I've been receiving phone calls that are like, when they hit me, it's like I just get scattered. My whole body just like gets scattered because, a lot of them are people in fear that are, needing help. And one of them was my best friend the other day, and he called me up and he thought he had COVID and he was freaking out. And so I was able to work with him and, calm him down. But inside of me, I was like, oh, what if Barry has COVID, and my body started just scattering like all separate pieces, right? Running around out there. And if I thought of myself as scattered parts or separate parts, I would stay scattered. But because I know that I'm a whole being, in fact, I know that I'm a whole being and I'm connected to this whole system, which includes you, right? And our earth and the universe. And there are many times that I can feel that. And when I get scattered, I leave you. I leave this planet and I leave this universe, and I lose my connection not only to the parts of myself, but also to that greater connection to all that is out there. And I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but I'm sure some of you do. Hey, Lynn, I'm glad you're here. So happy you guys are joining me today. So in this week's practice, the Ageless Movement practice, I give you a whole body love fest to come back into yourself. But sometimes we can't get to the floor right away. Sometimes we can't just get to those practices that do bring us back. And all of you are practicing those, right? Or if not, get on your mat and do them. You'll feel so much better. But sometimes it's just I have to remember to breathe. So if I can stop, like, okay, I got that phone call. Okay, that news affected me. Okay, I need to call all my parts back into me. What I do is I take a deep breath in, fill up from my belly all the way up to the tops of my lungs, and then I exhale from the tops of my lungs all the way down into my belly. And I hold the bottom of my exhalation. Usually for me, it's a chant. Like I often use like let go of whatever's disturbing me. Or if I'm all scattered out there, I can say come back. Because let's just try this. So you're going to feel it in a moment. But when I hold the bottom of that exhalation, I can feel all parts of myself coming back. So let's just try this like 3 times. So take a deep breath in, into your belly all the way to the top of your lungs. And then exhale from the top of your lungs and empty all the breath. I say ha, ha, all the way to the bottom. And when you get to the bottom of that exhalation, hold for the words come back. And then take another inhalation. And exhale and release. Ha. Come back. And inhale. And come back. And just go back to normal breathing. And feel how that just brings you back into yourself. And it's called the relaxation breath. So it calms you down. And then you can begin to feel whole again. And as you feel whole again, you remember that you are connected, not only as a whole being inside of yourself, but to your home, the people around you, your community, your country, this earth, this universe. And then if we remember we are connected, we're not going to do harm to one part of our wholeness. We're going to remember that and keep it all whole. So I want to just give an example of that in movement, in a way for us to remember that not only are we whole inside of ourselves, but that translates to being whole, all one, outside of us. So if you can get to your mat, join me. If not, you can do the best you can sitting down. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to all fours and I'm going to take my toes under. So if I was just sitting on a chair, I might just take my toes back like so. And with my toes under, I'm going to roll my inner arms out and plant my hands on the floor, spreading my fingers wide apart. I'm going to get them kind of right under my shoulders, like so. And then I'm going to lift up like a Halloween cat.
really spread my fingers wide and drop my head and neck. Now here, I'm going to feel the connection between my hands and my toes. So I keep my hands on the earth, even my palms. I'm going to back up to sit toward my toes. Now if I'm really tight in my forearms and my hands, I'm not going to get very far. But as I stay here and breathe, letting my head and neck be loose and free, this opening of my hands is helping to open my feet. And I just breathe there. Coming to the bottom of that exhalation, hold for come back. Come back. Come back. Then I'm going to actually just very slowly peel my hands off the earth, and I'll sit back on my toes. And as I peel my hands off the earth and I sit on my toes, now when I'm sitting on my toes, I get my little toe involved. Then as I'm opening my feet, I'm opening my hands. So I just sit here, I sit back, and I roll my inner arms out. And I just try to sit up. Now that might not be possible. You might have to have your hands on the floor. Wherever you are, just sit up the best you can and breathe here. Exhaling all that breath to the chant of come back. Come back. Come back. And then you can come up. And I'm just going to roll my inner arms out and bring my hands to the floor again, but release my toes and make circles with my feet and wiggle out my toes and then release my hands slowly again and just sit back on my feet with my toes under, and I feel how I feel. So now what we've done is we've connected our hands and our feet, our ancestors, right? And our love expressors. So basically, we just expressed love to our ancestors, and our ancestors are now available for us to express even more love. So we're really able to express love all the way from our ancestral connections out through our hands. And it's so beautiful if we remember we're a whole being. So that's the key. And that's the practice this week in Ageless Movement Practices, just to remember you're a whole being and take your whole body to a love fast. Because when I scatter, I've forgotten that I am love. I've forgotten that you are love. I've forgotten that I live in an energy universe of love. And I leave it in fear. And it can happen just like that. So I'm just going to check to see if anyone has any questions or anything to say about that. But join Sue in doing the whole body love fest today. It's great. Or this week. It's going to be up. So just try it out and let me know how it goes in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. And remember, as you go out into your day today, that you are whole. Keep yourself whole. Come back into yourself so that you can come back into remembering that I am you and you are me. We're all connected. Everyone around you is a reflection of yourself. Everything that is happening right now is a mirror held up for you to look at, what you need to look at to stay whole and keep your whole system whole and healthy. When we scatter and leave, that's when disease can come in, by the way. So stay connected, stay whole, not only inside yourself, but with this entire beautiful love universe that we live in. Thank you so much. Love you all.